Hey, this is King Firehawk from 1640 PWPR. Coming up, the Blind Tag Podcast, which is exclusive here to 1640 PWPR, the home of pro wrestling podcast radio and more.
Here is the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And Dusty, your fans welcome you back, man.
First of all, I would like to thank the many fans throughout this country that wrote cards and letters to Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, while I was down. Secondly, I want to thank Jim Crockett Promotions for waiting and taking the time, because I know how important it was. Starcade 85 it is to the wrestling fans, it is to Jim Crockett Promotions. And Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, with that weight, got what I wanted. Ric Flair, the world's heavyweight champion. I don't have to say a lot more about the way I feel about Ric Flair. No respect, no honor. There is no honor among thieves in the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work and got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times are when the auto workers are out of work and they tell them go home. And hard times are when a man has worked at a job 30 years. 30 years. They give him a watch, kick him in the butt, and say, hey, a computer took your place, Daddy. That's hard time. That's hard time. And Ric Flair, you put hard times on this country by taking Dusty Rhodes out. That's hard time. And we all had hard times together. I admit I don't look like the athlete of the day supposed to look. My belly's just a little big. My hind is just a little big. But, brother, I am bad, and they know I'm bad. And there were 2 bad people. One was John Wayne, and he's dead, brother. And the other one's right here. Nature Boy Ric Flair. The world's heavyweight title belongs to these people. I'm going to reach out right now. I want you at home to know my hand is touching your hand for this gathering of the biggest body of people in this country, in this universe, all over the world now. Reach it out, because the love that was given me, and this time I will repay you now, because I will be the next world's heavyweight champion on this hard time blues. Dusty Rhodes Tour 85 and Ric Flair, Nature Boy. Let me leave you with this. One way to hurt Ric Flair is to take what he cherishes more than anything in the world. That's the world's heavyweight title. I'm gonna take it. I've been there twice. This time when I take it, Daddy, I'm gonna take it for you. Let's gather for it. Don't let me down now, because I came back for you, for that man up there that died 10, 12 years ago and never got the opportunity to see a real world champion. And I'm proud of you, and thank God I have you. And I love you. Love you!
Hello out there in the podcast world. Once again, you've reached the Blind Tag, and I am, of course, here with my constant companions, 2 members of the Fallen Angels. We have Dante.
Howdy.
And we have Krim.
Hey there.
We have a relatively short show today, and we aim to get through it quick, but we start, as we must, with the passing of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. The 69-year-old wrestling legend passed away on Wednesday, June 10th, after taking a fall at his home in Orlando, Florida. EMTs responded to a 911 call at 5:56 a.m. and rushed him to the nearest hospital. He died shortly thereafter due to numerous complications as a result of said fall. The numerous contributions of Dusty Rhodes to the business of wrestling couldn't possibly be overstated. From his legendary promos, of which Hard Times is but one, to his dusty finish to matches, the American Dream gave his heart and soul to this business. Most of the stars of today, as well as more than a handful of legends, owe their livelihoods and their careers to this man. The son of a plumber, the tower of power too sweet to be sour, the common man, remember him as you will, but we here at the Blind Tag will always use but one word to describe the dream: timeless. Rest in peace, Dusty. The hard times are past for you.
Bless you, brother.
With that being said, we here at the Blind Tag tend to use humor to get through a time of grief. It's sort of how we handle things. What we're about to get into is a quote-unquote working theory. It is meant as a jest, okay, but there seems to be some truth in it. Please do not take offense to what we're doing, and if the dream were to have heard this theory, I think he would have laughed his ass off and said
that he thought he didn't think of that finish himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what we're about to get into is our quote-unquote conspiracy theory of the Naitch, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And I'll go ahead and let Krim start it off here.
Okay. It was one of these things that you happen to just sit back and you start seeing certain patterns. Like you're not even looking for them, but all of a sudden you just start seeing certain things that just pop up. And it's not necessary. You're like, it's just too. It's too common to be a coincidence. Okay.
There's if you look at one singular incident, it's like, oh, whatever. But when you start to pile them up, okay, it starts to.
Yeah, it's like it's like Tetris.
As Big Dick is famous for saying, sometimes you gotta ask questions.
You just gotta ask questions sometimes.
This is definitely one of those times where you need to ask these questions.
Keep in mind, we here at the Blind Tag do our research, okay, and we know our history.
We are investigative journalists.
Okay, so what we're about to say, everything we're about to say is factual, okay? It is factual. You can look it up if you wish, okay? We're only using facts to support our theory. There is no conjecture here.
Pull the thread yourself.
Okay.
You'll see it.
So I'll go ahead and let Krim and Dante go in with their research, and they'll start it off, and you'll either be a believer or you'll be a critic, but either way, this information needs to get out there.
I agree.
Okay. So, I'm sure people know back in October 4th of 1975, there was a horrible, horrible plane crash that involved Ric Flair, where he had broken his back in 3 different places, and which would have killed anybody's wrestling career.
They were told him he would never wrestle again.
Ever.
But during that plane crash, a vision came to him, the vision of the devil, and he said, if you give part of yourself, we can show you how to survive within the wrestling world. So in that, he sacrificed the life of Johnny Valentine, allowing Mr. Wrestling and Davy Crockett to survive, because he needed the Crockett's in order to continue his career. But in order to survive in the pro wrestling business, there must be sacrifices made. A creature that inhabited him known as the Naitch.
Woo!
So anytime you hear somebody talk about the Naitch,
Woo!
that is who they are giving homage to. The demon within him that helps him survive as long as he has survived in this business.
It swallows souls, guys.
Do you guys ever notice that when they talk about Ric Flair doing crazy things, they don't call him, oh, it's just Ric Flair. No, they call him, oh, it's the Naitch. He's Naitching out. He's doing the Naitch.
When he's giving
elbowing
the elbow
the jacket.
to his jacket,
Okay.
That is the Naitch.
Okay.
It's the demon within him.
It takes over. It means, I need
over.
something. I need it now.
The first real noticeable act of this happened 2 months after David Flair passed away.
Nope.
Or what? I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm losing it already on that. Because you told me. Right? What did I say?
Flair.
You said
I'm
Flair.
sorry. Look, so many people have the same names. Anyway, the first one to pass was David Von Erich in 1984.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why, they're not really sure. He died of mysterious circumstances, but after that, his brother Kerry Von Erich, in a show that was dedicated
To David
Von Erich, on May 6, 1984, Ric Flair dropped the belt to Kerry Von Erich, and that was the NWA World Title. So
at this point, anybody who's a historian of wrestling knows that at this point, a dark day and quote unquote the Von Erich curse gets cast upon the Von Erich family.
Okay.
Because Ric Flair lost
He
one
lost.
thing that he made that deal for, is he wanted that belt. So from there, we have after. Let's see here. I lost my my thing here. When did? All right. So 2 years after that, Kerry Von Erich lost his foot in a motorcycle accident after he had gotten that award.
Well, yeah, he was trying to bug her out.
Right. He tried to leave.
He knew
Flair was coming for him, so he tried to run and he broke his foot. Which then, what year did he pass? I totally okay. So in 1987, Mike Von Erich died of an apparent suicide while Flair was working for the NWA and WCW.
At this point, things are just rumors.
Yeah, just rumors. Right now, it just looks like a coincidence.
Right?
Okay,
it's just
right
rumors in wrestling, and then rumors start to become myths, and myths become legends.
Kind of like Nikki beating John.
It's just right now. It's just an idea. Okay.
So, after Mike passed away of an apparent suicide in 1991, Ric Flair joined WWF in August of '91.
He's feeding.
Surprisingly, in September of 1991, Chris Von Erich died of a suicide. Coincidence? I think not.
No.
You need sustenance.
You need to feed the Naitch. You need to feed the Naitch. The Naitch needs to feed. It's the balance, right? If I'm going to be on top, I need souls. Okay? I need souls. And unfortunately, the Naitch, he'll take it from wherever he can get it. And you'll notice as time goes on, it starts to get much more desperate as we continue. You'll see.
There's certain things we won't even discuss.
No, there's certain things we're going to skip over because right now, that would be speculative. Okay, we don't know if the Naitch has crossed the line yet. We're not going to, like I said, there's certain things we're going to skip over. But right now, we're just going to stick to the facts.
So
facts is what we know.
After September of '91, when Chris passed away, in what I lost it again. I'm sorry. In 1993,
you're killing me.
Sorry. In February 1993, Kerry took his own life with a drug overdose. Okay. By this point of 1997, Arn Anderson had had enough and had seen enough and had retired from the business because he could no longer watch the carnage in which the Naitch was leaving behind.
Well, let's take that for like a split second here, because there was a time where Arn and Tully had left WCW. They were the Four Horsemen, and they left. My theory on that is they were getting to the point where they can't deal with the Naitch anymore. It was getting tiring for them, and they were kind of starting to get afraid for their own lives.
Yeah.
So they went and they left. They had to come back like almost a year later, and I'm pretty sure Rick was like, "Hey, I got this taken care of now. Please come back into the fold. I'm telling you, it's okay." And Arn loves his brother. Arn loved his brother, so he would go and he came back, and he wanted to, without a doubt, be welcomed back into the fold. He wanted things to be the way they were before all the death.
Yep. In 1999, Rick Rude died of an apparent heart failure, and he had his issues with Flair. They had a feud going for a little while.
I know they wrestled a couple times.
Yep. Then we had in 2003, after defeating David Flair for the for the TNA titles in January 2000, God bless his soul, Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig lost his life in February of 2000.
Yeah, let this be a lesson. It's the last match that Kurt Hennig ever had was against David Flair. Okay, let that sit with you for a second. That's right. You're not going to touch my son. I am now hungry. You are at the perfect...
Woo! And I apologize. He actually passed away in 2003. I take that back. Kurt Hennig passed away in February 2003 of an apparent suicide. Then, for a while, things got a little quiet until later on in 2003 when, after an unfortunate incident that happened at the Luger house, where, Rick came by for a visit because he was feeling a bit weak, and sadly Miss Elizabeth answered the door, and Luger, knowing what Flair was there for, shoved Liz in front of him, and unfortunately we lost Liz. She was an awesome manager.
First lady of wrestling.
And she managed Ric Flair in 2001, along with Randy Savage, but unfortunately, as we can see in Luger's current state, Flair did get a little bit of a piece anyway.
He got a piece of him. That's why Luger looks the way he does.
Yeah, Luger doesn't look as like the total package anymore. It looks like a little parcel. I'm just saying, like he's like an envelope anymore.
He's not the total package. He's an envelope.
After feuding with Randy Savage from the year 1992 to 96, Randy, in a desperate attempt to try to escape the Naitch, died while having a heart attack in the car with his wife, and sadly lost his life to that heart attack.
Yeah,
he was trying to run away.
You don't run.
You can't run from the Naitch. You can only sacrifice others in your stead.
Yeah, that's
Luger. Okay.
Then a year ago, sadly, we lost a great man within wrestling who lost his way for a little while, but then found his way back, and that was the Ultimate Warrior. Mm-hmm. And sadly, Flair was at the Hall of Fame that year, and 2 days as he was walking out of the hotel, poor Mr. Warrior passed away in front of his family right there in the front of the hotel.
By the way, it's the Naitch's favorite way of taking somebody's by heart attack.
Heart attack. Because it looks natural. Because it looks natural.
Which is why he's called the Naitch.
How about that?
Now, I know some of you out there in the podcast world are like, well, Ric Flair's had feuds with many other people. Sting, for example. Sting. We actually understand. We're going to explain that to you right now. See, Sting is a good example of how to stop the Naitch. See, the Naitch always starts with a woo, and then he'll start sucking your soul right out of you. However, every time Sting has been in the ring with the Naitch, what was always said? Ric Flair would go, woo! Sting would go, ow! That's the counter curse.
That's the counter curse, baby. If you want to live, and you hear the woo, you got to give the ow. All right?
That's the reverse.
You hear the woo, you got to do the ow, or you're done.
It's it. Yep. He's coming for you.
Okay?
Yep.
That's it.
And last, sadly but not least, because the Naitch needs to keep going.
He's got to keep feeding.
But his
hunger is insatiable.
Sadly, and again, please remember this is done in good taste and in jest, but
the facts are the facts.
And it does kind of make you go,
It's going to make you think, people. I want you to think about this.
Okay.
The facts are the facts.
And this is documented proof from the Naitch's mouth himself. On June 9th of this year, he saw Dusty at the NXT Performance Center, and they were supposed to go to a basketball game or something that night. I'm sure if that went through or not, but after that,
the next day,
the next day, June 10th, early in that morning,
same city,
same place near the Performance Center. An ambulance was called to Dusty's house after a strange, mysterious fall in his home, and the next day he had passed away after seeing Flair the day before. Are you telling me this veteran of the business who's given careers
to everybody, knows the business inside and out, can't fall correctly. He takes a fall and that's it. That's like no. You know what? That's
he
like,
can't take a bump.
Yeah, that's like Dale Earnhardt turning right, hitting the wall, and that's it. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
No, I'm saying like I seen Dale Earnhardt break out the car. You couldn't even tell there's a car there, and he walks away.
Oh my
He
goodness.
hits the wall, and that's it.
Oh
Dusty
my
falls,
goodness.
and that's it. No,
Dusty falls. Here's the thing, right? Because not only I think the nature boy. It depends on the power of the soul, right? What he needs at a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
At the point where he took Dusty, he hadn't fed in a while.
it's true.
Okay,
I
So
disagree, but like I said,
he hadn't really fed. But here's the thing: he hadn't fed in a while. He took Dusty. Dusty essentially built Ric Flair.
it's true. True story. Without Dusty Rhodes, there would be no Ric Flair.
Where do you go from here? Who do you
Naitch.
feed it? I don't know. Because I don't know.
Vince.
You can't
You
take
haven't
Vince.
seen, you haven't
Going
seen
after
Vince
Vince
in a
next.
while. You haven't seen Vince in a while.
Target. High profile targets now.
Because you can't take Sting.
Sting knows the counter curse.
Sting knows the counter curse. Okay? Who's next? Is it Vince? I don't know. Okay? But if I were an older wrestler, which I am not, but if I were an older wrestler, I'd watch my goddamn back. Okay?
If
I'd hang out with Sting a lot more.
If you're an
Okay?
older wrestler, okay, and for whatever reason you hear a knock on the door and you're like, what's Ric Flair doing outside my door? Don't open your door.
You block it. You put cotton in your ears.
Yeah.
Okay? You can't hear the woo. Okay? You hear the woo. It's like hearing the wail of the banshee. It's done. Okay? It's over. You hear the wail of the banshee and it's over. You hear the woo of the Naitch and it's over.
We're telling you, like, listen, we're not calling him a Dementor, but he's probably a Dementor. Okay? We love wrestling so much that we don't...
We don't want to see anybody go.
We don't want to see anybody go. And when we see people go at an early age, it's heartbreaking. And what we do is we try to rationalize it with humor.
Yeah.
But we've also seen facts.
Okay.
It's like playing 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah,
Ric Flair has his hand in every one of these young wrestlers' deaths.
It's terrifying. If you add it all up. See, the thing is, if you just take a few of these incidents and you just look at it like, oh, it could be coincidence, whatever.
Let's be honest. Before I started doing the research, you actually looked at
it was
it
a
like,
joke.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
and
the
then
thing.
I started doing the research. You're like, holy shit, wait a minute. Let me think about that for a second.
It started off as a joke between us, okay? Like, the Nate's got to him, and then we start doing the research. I think, to me, the most compelling evidence is obviously poor Dusty, God rest his soul. But probably the most compelling evidence is the Von Erichs. Okay?
Yes.
Flair drops the title to a Von Erich, and that's the beginning of the goddamn end for that family. Okay?
Well,
we could start with the dad who made it.
All right. Well, here let's say there's a when you get success, people can say you sold your soul to the devil.
Yeah.
Fritz Von Erich, he wanted all of his boys to be successful wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
And they
The
were.
first one to go was young Jack. And the thing
Jack
is,
Jr.
Jack Jr. See, here's the thing: like you sign the deal with the devil.
Okay, this is about to get a little rough.
It's gonna get people
Okay.
buckle in. This is gonna get harsh.
But we have we have proof to back it up.
There's theories. We have theories. Okay, so Fritz has a bunch of sons. Okay, and he always wants to be successful wrestlers. And we believe that the devil had come up and be like, "Hey, I can make this happen, but we need the blood of your firstborn." Okay, so what happened is, supposedly, little Jack died electrocuted and then fell flat in a puddle and then he drowned. So, that's a horrible way to go for a 6-year-old.
9-year-old.
Whatever.
No.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
9. It was 9, right? Because I don't
know.
remember.
Well,
regardless, he was a child.
He was a child, Fritz. You can't hear me. You're dead. But I hope to God you're not listening.
That one bit a little close to the bone on that one.
Yeah, you should. I wish everybody could see how much Big Dick is squirming, which sounds funny to itself.
Anyway,
all right, moving on. But he had paid the blood of his firstborn, and he gave the and the devil answered the answer.
It goes even better. Jack was electrocuted at Niagara Falls at the age of 6 in 1959.
That's what I'm getting to. Yeah, so
electrocuted at Niagara Falls. I mean, like, what other horrible way could a child... Niagara Falls, okay?
So,
I mean, if you're going to do it right, I guess that was the place.
Yeah,
but
so the devil came and gave his side of the bet, and he was like, you know what, here, all your kids are now successful. But the problem is, when it comes to the deal with the devil always gets his due. Mm-hmm. And it came time for the reaping. And who's the best to do the reaping? The devil's own demon, the Naitch. And the Naitch came and he culled the entire Von Erich family.
You know what?
I don't know why Kevin's still alive, but God bless him.
Cain may be the devil's favorite demon. Cain may be the devil's favorite demon, but the Naitch is the most efficient.
He gets the job done.
The Naitch is the cleaner.
He bats clean up.
Okay?
He's
the Naitch is the goddamn cleaner.
He's the closer. He is
the
Mario Rivera.
He bats clean up, okay? He might as well be called the Sandman because he goes in, people go to sleep. Okay?
We're not talking to wrestler.
Alright? So, if you hear the woo at your front door, get your affairs in order. Okay? Get your goddamn affairs in order. But like I said, we have the blind cast. Blind tag. We have a lot of fun. Okay, again, this is purely jest, but at the same time,
it makes you go.
And I want you guys to think about this. There's so many other people who have died that we haven't even discussed or talked about.
We're just trying to be concise. We're just trying to be concise.
That are connected to the Naitch.
But we're not going to talk about that right now.
No, there's a few that we will not discuss because poor taste or whatnot. But let that be a lesson to you to pull the string yourself.
Yeah.
Follow we have notes. We've compiled notes. You hear this? Notes. We've compiled notes on this. This is something we've been following for years, and we've gotten tired of it. But the catalyst, why we had to open our mouth and say something under penalty of death, because we're sure that he's going to knock on our door soon.
It's all right, brother. We got the Lord on our side.
We have our Lord on our side. We could not stand by and let Dusty go.
Dusty.
Knowing that the Naitch had visited him the day before. Naitch wanted to finish that feud, and by God, he did.
He finished, yeah.
They ain't no Dusty finish there. Okay.
Maybe it was the Dusty finish you wanted. I don't know.
All right.
Would he have written it that way?
I don't know. But like I said, it's all in jest. However, we do have a few serious things to talk about right now. One, Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank is tonight. Okay. We will be doing a version of the Cheap Seats. We will not be broadcasting, but we will be recording it to be pure audio because we've decided to do a Riff Tracks-esque type of video. Okay. Once we record it, we will post it on YouTube. It'll be pure audio. And we'll tell you to sync it up with the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. And if you want to watch us riff on the Money in the Bank, you just do that, and I guarantee you're going to have a great time. Okay? If you want to hear our picks from Money in the Bank, we're not going to do them right now because we already did them earlier in the week. So you're going to have to go listen to that podcast.
That's right. Go to number 18.
Yeah, goddamn right.
You were telling our listeners to do work? Are you kidding me?
No, we're telling our listeners to listen to our podcast.
I think this is actually number 20.
Yeah, I think this is number 21.
Well, no, because there is one lost podcast that we didn't put up. That'll eventually...
It'll resurface. But is there anything else we need to talk about?
I do want to push that we will be at the New England Fan Fest number 5 in Rhode Island at the Rhode Island Convention Center on June 27th. Doors open at 9 o'clock, so it's 9 to 9. They've got special tickets up now for if people want to have a Q&A with Eric Bischoff.
Absolutely.
We will have the website and all that on the at the end of this, along with a GoFundMe that we will continue to push until people start helping.
Absolutely.
At the show, we plan to have a donation box. If people want to bring blankets, food, whatever you can give, please give. We will also have a donation pot, so if you want to put like $1 or $2 or whatever you can spare to give to these poor people, they really, really need your help. They lost everything. Absolutely. They lost an entire home they had worked their entire lives for, their pets. everything. So if you can help out, please help out. We will put that GoFundMe at the end of this.
Yeah, we're gonna link it in the description. Absolutely.
Yep. And also, since we will not be able to defend our titles, our tag team titles for the Superstars of Wrestling show on the 27th at Avondale. Sorry about that, folks.
I'm here. We're here.
We're all here.
We still encourage you to go and help fill those seats and cheer on Tony Atlas and the other big names that'll be there that day, and support independent wrestling. We also will not be at the 28th or the 3rd show for the Sanctuary because of previous engagements, but please go see those shows as well. They're probably some of the best shows I've ever been involved in, and the production is really, really close to, some of the best production that you can see on TV right now. So I would definitely support your indie feds.
But with that, I think that's all for this week. Hopefully you all watch Money in the Bank, and like I said, we'll have our own version of Riff Tracks for that up within a couple of days. I'll probably be handling most of the audio on that. So, and with this podcast, this will be up again in a few days. So, but I think that's all we have to cover, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Or
I want to say we should definitely end this on a high note.
Okay.
Okay. It's sad, and all of us feel loss for the American Dream.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I feel like I lost a family member.
yeah,
it's pretty rough.
You feel there's going to be a hole, and you know what? I know they're going to be doing some tributes during Money in the Bank, and there's probably not going to be a dry eye in the cheap seats. But I want to let's end out on a high note. Let's go out the only way we know, and that's let's play the Dreams music.
You want to hear the Dreams
I
music?
want to hear the Dreams music on the way out.
Let's do it.
All right.
I'll take care of it. But for Krim and for Dante, I'm Big Dick Gideon, and we will talk to you all next week.
Bye.
See ya.
America.